Hi everybody. This is my first video, so please be gentle. I invited George, who is a PPC specialist, and
Hi.
I would like to discuss today about the differences between email marketing and paid media. Differences and let's say how they work together. So let's start first with the costs about um, these kind of marketing activities. For example, everybody knows that email marketing it's not an expensive marketing action if you have a subscribers list. Uh, the ROI of this activity is $42 for each $1 spent. So the cost is not so high. Regarding PPC, George, what do you say?
So, first of all, people can refer to this in many ways. It's performance marketing, it's PPC as in pay-per-click, it's paid media as you called it. Usually it refers to mostly to Google ads and Facebook ads campaigns, and it's PPC pay-per-click / performance marketing in that you're paying for results basically. So you're paying for traffic, or you're paying for leads, or you're paying for conversions. And the way it works nowadays, in a lot of cases, you're actually paying for sales, for customers, or for revenue, basically. So you put in $1 in performance marketing, and if you can get out of it $2, in return, that's great, because then you can scale it. So
Yeah.
as for the ROI of performance marketing, of course, it varies a lot, but depending on the market, even 100% basically break even, or no 0%, depending on the calculation, could be a good stat. But usually it's more than that. Of course, it's in most cases it's profitable. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Okay, so after a while, let's say when the business is already uh, making some money, if you already have a subscriber list, it's cheaper to communicate to this list than investing in PPC.
Yeah, sure, of course. But usually, like, PPC performance marketing will get you new
Fresh
users,
meat.
customers,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is the specific. Okay, so in email marketing, for less money, you will get you will reach the same audience that you had, and in PPC you will get new people, new customers. Okay, let's talk about the speed to market. How much time does it get? Let's say we have the money and we would like to start a PPC campaign. How much time do you think you can set up a PPC campaign?
Yeah, well, that's one of the advantages of performance marketing as a channel. It's fast to set up, so depending on the complexity, yeah, anywhere between a day or a few days, a few weeks, that tops to set it up. And once it's running, if everything is set up properly and everything is tracked properly, you know the results you're getting right away, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in email marketing, it doesn't it doesn't take one day to make the setup, but of course you are not going to stay one day each day for the PPC campaign. But each newsletter that you send out, it will take up to a few hours, depending on the experience of the, let's say, the marketer, how fast is going to build the newsletter blogs, and of course, it's about the copywriting. You have to be creative for each campaign that you are going to send. So the PPC it will take more time to set up, and then less time, let's say, you will just operate some changes probably
Yeah,
on the
there's
ads.
management involved, optimization work,
Mhm.
basically trying
But
to
for
get,
email,
yeah.
you will have each time to do either a new template, or you will have to custom change some items in the last template that you send. So each time normally you will have to do some copywriting work. Okay, let's see about the audience ownership and control. In email marketing, you own the ownership, you own let's say, the audience. You don't have to fight any algorithm. Only just keep subscribed people, not people that it's didn't opt in, because you are going to land in the spam box, in the spam folder. So you own the. It's up to you and your copywriting, of course, in order to make people open your emails and let's say convert uh, them to make some orders. How about paid marketing?
Yeah, so for usually in performance marketing in paid media, you're competing with everybody else bidding for the same traffic in Google or Facebook or whatever it is. And you can only say that you own the audience if you do some remarketing type campaigns where you have a list that you remarket to. But even then, you are competing for those impressions with everybody else in the system, basically.
So when if you really want, if you really want to own them, you will have to pay a high price, the highest
Yes,
price, right?
yeah, you're basically buying customers. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. In email marketing, you don't have to pay something more. It just, but you kind of had to work to raise this list. I mean, if you don't have a list, you have nothing. Let's move on to personalization and segmentation. In email marketing, you can personalize with the name or interests of subscriber, or maybe check the activity if it opened the newsletters or not. You can also add some custom data, like how many orders did this customer made on your website, and send some custom campaigns. How about PPC? How can you target and how can you segment your audience?
Doesn't really work the same way in PPC performance marketing. Uh, so you cannot have individualized messages for you know each user basically. There are data regulation, privacy law limitations around this. So even if it was technically easy to do, it's not something that you actually do nowadays. The most you can do regarding segmentation is you have remarketing lists, and yeah, let's say up to a thousand or so, or more than a thousand users, and if those lists share a common thing like location or interest or whatever, you can tailor messages to particular lists basically. But addressing yourself to an individual, it's not really a thing in
Mhm.
performance marketing.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on to measurability. In email marketing, it's very easy to measure the interaction between a subscriber and a newsletter. You can see how many, uh, if it opened the emails, if it clicked on it, and so you can make some reports. See if your newsletter had a 20% or 50% open rate. It was, let's say, a good one. Maybe, but then you can see the click-through rate is very low, so you should change maybe the call to action or the copywriting. So in email marketing, you can easily track the results of your activity, of your email campaigns. How about PPC? How can you track the results? How do you measure them?
Well, it's the same for PPC, for performance marketing. You can track everything, even more than what you discussed about. You can track it down to the sale that you're actually making, especially in something like e-commerce. You can track one click that you paid for on Google, for example, down to a sale that you made and the revenue or the profit from that sale. It's highly transparent, and you can calculate your profitability very easily.
In email marketing, you cannot really track, let's say, the sales only if you offer let's say a voucher, a discount code in your email. So you would say that only the subscribers knew about that discount code. But even so, we cannot know if that person later, after he received the email, later he viewed that your ad, for example, in Facebook or in Google search, and then was triggered to buy that product or service. So it's about the thing of attribution. Um,
Yeah, so attribution models nowadays is a highly complicated
mhm.
subject, and but if you're relying on Google Analytics for data, you could track sales to some extent for any channel. With that caveat that attribution can be split between multiple channels, and you have to be aware of that.
Okay. Cool. So this was the first part of our discussion where we made comparison between these two kind of marketing activities. If you don't know what to start with, if you want to start with email marketing or PPC, I hope this helped you. Now, of course, the recommendation is to use them together and not just these two uh, marketing activities, but together with SEO and some others. But let's see in this context where we combine email marketing with PPC, how PPC is helping email marketing.
Yeah, so in the same way that you can buy users, buy customers, sales through performance marketing, you can you can set it up in a way so that you buy newsletter subscribers. That there are a lot of businesses, campaigns that are this is their main objective for performance marketing to grow their subscriber list for their newsletter, and this way, one can feed into the other.
How about, do you think it would be effective to create a PPC campaign before an email blast, let's say, before a newsletter?
Well, it depends on what you already have. If you're starting fresh, brand new, and don't already have a lot of subscribers, of course you want to build out your list before you can do anything with it. If you have a your e-commerce shop, let's say, for a long time and you already have a list, yeah, I guess that the lowest hanging fruit would be selling to the same people that you've already sold to.
Yeah, but I was wondering if, for example, let's say we have 10,000 subscribers. I want to send a new, I want to send a newsletter with a certain product for today, for tomorrow. Should I make a PPC campaign specific for that product and tomorrow send a newsletter? What do you think? Do you think this would be effective? Or
It's something you can test, of course, but it doesn't usually work that way.
you don't think it will be very, very effective necessarily if we
Well,
just warm up the subscribers a bit with maybe we don't even target them, you know? Can you be sure that your subscribers will see that ad?
yeah, it doesn't really work that way. You cannot be sure that your subscribers are going to be the ones that are served like a
Mm-hmm.
product specific campaign. But of course, it's something you can test.
Okay. Okay, on the other way, email marketing helping PPC. Um, I understand there is a feature in Google Ads somewhere where you can just upload your email list and deliver some ads to those specific subscribers,
Yeah, sure. So
maybe
it's
in Gmail.
basically remarketing or retargeting,
But
sometimes
yes,
called.
but now you target, let's say this, let's say
That
100%
yes,
exactly.
that specific audience, yes,
Uh-huh, okay.
not for past visitors from the campaign. That's also a thing. But for the exact list of users that you feed Google,
Okay,
if
okay.
as long as because you mentioned Google Ads, but it's the same thing on Facebook. If they can
Okay.
identify those users based on their email address, if that email address is their Google login
Mm-hmm.
or their Facebook login in case of Facebook, or through some other means, you can target a list of people specifically with a performance marketing campaign, yes. As long as it's big enough, because there are size requirements,
Yes.
minimum size requirements of, let's say, 1,000 users.
Yes, of course. You need a minimum significant number. Okay, I suppose you can also, before launching a PPC campaign, you may see the results of a newsletter. Let's say you send a newsletter for a product, no interaction, no engagement. Maybe you just abandon a PPC campaign for that product.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
could test out promotions or even products through your own list first.
It's true that
Yes.
you can also create the campaign and just leave it there a bit and see there is no engagement. You can stop it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now, as an overall conclusion, what do you think is the most important and the strongest point of PPC over email marketing?
It's the same, as over other digital marketing channels. It's volume, it's scalability. If you find something that works, if you find a way to put in $1 and get two out of it, then within reason, within limits, you can scale that up so that it becomes you put in, $10,000 and you get out $20,000 or even a lot
Yeah,
more. You can put in 1 million and get 2 million out
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Potential, depending on the size of the market. But if you validate, uh, for Google Ads, for example, as a channel, then with certain, caveats, you can scale it to where it becomes much bigger.
Yeah.
So the volume that it provides, if it works, you can just turn on the traffic faucet and
Okay.
a lot of numbers can come through it.
But the result is not always proportional. I mean, it can just limit it at some point,
Yes,
right?
so of course you are limited by your TAM, your total addressable market for whatever it is that you're selling. Of course,
And your
that
bandwidth,
as
of course.
budgets increase, the efficiency decreases.
Hmm.
So because it's an auction basically for the
Okay.
impressions, the higher you are in the auction, and the more impressions you get, the more expensive the clicks, the leads, whatever you're
Understand.
tracking, the results will be. So with certain you know mentions here, but generally it's something that's scalable and it can bring in big volumes if it works.
And new clients. It's fresh new
Yes,
clients. No?
exactly.
Okay, regarding the email marketing, strongest point that I see over PPC, it's building a relationship with the subscribers. Of course, you need to have some subscribers first, but if you already have them, you can. They are practically they know your brand, and it's the easiest way to sell to somebody. It's the easiest way to sell to somebody who already knows you. So of course they maybe bought something this month. Doesn't mean that they will buy again the next month, but you can try to stay on top of mind, send promotions or educational content, and so that when that person wants to buy again something, you are going to be, let's say, on his mind. I mean, they will remember you or see your email, and it's very probably that they will at least check out your offer and maybe buy from you.
Yeah, sure. No, as I've also mentioned before, the easiest way to sell something is to somebody you already sold to in the past, and
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
have their email uh, and they have accepted
the
to be in your
communication.
newsletter, that's the most
Mhm.
effective way possible to get to them.
Okay. Don't have any other questions, so I think this is it. If you want to add something
No,
more,
not. I think
okay.
we covered most
Yeah.
basic points on the subject.
Thank you very much then, and I hope to see you soon.
Welcome.
Ciao.
Thanks,
Bye bye.
thanks as well. Bye.